Hello and welcome. So, have you ever stopped to think if there's a real connection between simple, physical, hard work and, your ultimate destiny? Well, today we're diving into a source that argues there absolutely is, that the path to a meaningful life is actually paved not just with faith, but with sweat and soil. Let's get into it. Right away, our source drops us into this incredibly vivid scene. You can almost feel the sun on your face, see the effort. But this isn't just about digging, right? It's about creation. You've got 5 young people working shoulder to shoulder, literally shaping the world around them with their own hands. So to understand the really big ideas that are coming up, the source first grounds us in the physical world. We're starting with this simple, tangible act of work, because as you're about to see, this is where the entire philosophy really begins. And look at the harmony that's happening here. This isn't some story about humanity battling against machines or conquering nature. Not at all. Instead, what we're seeing is human labor, technology, and the natural world all working together, collaborating to gently guide this stream along its new path. And here, the deeper meaning really starts to click. The river itself gets a voice, and it tells us this is way more than just an engineering project. The work these youths are doing, it's helping life itself find its proper course, channeling it toward a brighter, endless day. Okay, so we've got this powerful scene of physical work, but that work is just the what. This next section is all about the why, the core principle that takes simple labor and turns it into something so much more profound. This is the key question, it's the real pivot point of the whole text. What is it that elevates just doing a job into something that actually defines our fate and our future? And the answer comes down to this core concept of goodness. It's presented almost like a fundamental law of reality. If you engage in beneficial deeds, you are actively creating a positive outcome for yourself. It's less about some cosmic scorecard and more about your actions directly shaping the world you're going to live in. And this isn't just about some personal karma either. The source makes it crystal clear that these positive effects ripple outward. When you engage in good work, it doesn't just help you, it builds prosperity and security for your entire community. So, if doing good is our path, how does that connect with a higher power? Where does all our human effort fit into the grander, divine scheme of things? Well, to really get our role in all this, we first have to understand this fundamental relationship between the human and the divine. The source presents it as a kind of duality, this beautiful contrast between our infinite need and a higher power that is completely self-sufficient. And this contrast is everything. See, on one hand, we are defined by our constant, infinite needs for purpose, for security, for pretty much everything. And on the other hand, the divine is defined by being entirely without need, which makes it the only ultimate source that can fulfill ours. This leads to what you could almost call a division of labor between us and the divine. Our job, our responsibility is to strive. It's to engage in goodness with everything we've got. But the final outcome, the ultimate result, that's not actually in our hands. And that's where faith comes in. All right, let's bring this all home. We've seen the physical work, we've talked about the principle of goodness, and we've touched on the role of faith. This last section shows how all these threads get woven together into a single, cohesive path for living a peaceful life. This poem at the end brings us right back to that simple, powerful metaphor of a harvest. It's like a natural law. Just like a farmer who plants seeds of wheat expects to harvest wheat, someone who sows good deeds can expect to reap a good life. It's an active process that really does shape your destiny. And here it is, the core balance of this whole philosophy. We have our part, pour ourselves into the work, do our absolute best. But then we let go. We release control, and we trust that the final masterpiece, the great art of the outcome, is being crafted by a merciful higher power. So the main takeaway here is this really clear 3-step guide. First, start with good intentions. Second, give it your all. And third, let go and trust that the result will be what it's meant to be. It's really a formula for both action and for peace. And that leaves us with this one final thought. In your own life, in your projects, your career, your relationships, can you identify that line? Figuring out where to put in all the effort and knowing where to step back and trust the process, well, that might just be the key to everything.